That's it. It's over. I'm done. I know how it finishes. You don't. Keep watching. You'll find out. I'm doing this little piece as an introduction to the introduction on the video of the walk, and I'm doing it for a couple of reasons. The first is to say that I am not Steven Spielberg. The video you're about to see is full of photographic errors. Some things are out of focus, some things are overexposed. There's plenty of camera shake and lens flare. The audio has enough puffing and panting in it to rival a professionally produced porn production, but there's nothing I can do about it. We'll have to put up with it. I'm sorry. The second reason is a little bit more serious. I'm doing this video as a record of the walk to show my family and friends, and the easiest way I can do that is to pop it onto YouTube. That means, of course, that anybody can see it, and anybody's welcome to see it. I'd love you to watch it. If you enjoy it, all well and good. If you don't, well, never mind. But what you see in the movie is me. I am what I am. Some people like me, some people don't. I don't care. But in this modern world infested with political correctness and wokeism, some of the things I might say could, if you really try, be perceived as being offensive. Some people might say they're homophobic, ageist, sexist, or racist. And if you feel that any of the comments like that might upset, depress, trigger, or worst of all, offend you, then it's probably best that you f*** off now. Because if you do watch it, and if you do get offended by anything I say, and you subsequently choose to complain to YouTube, or write nasty things in the comments below, or complain to my mother, probably best you don't bother, because seriously, I don't give a Hello and welcome to the video. My name's Rob and I'm a resident of Perth, Western Australia. For many years now I've had an inexplicable wish, and in this, my 60th year, I have decided to grant it. A long held and somewhat optimistic desire to walk the Bibbulmun track. Probably best to start with what it's not, because this myth came up several times in preparations for this walk. It is not an ancient Aboriginal path through the forests of WA for the purposes of migration, hunting or marriage. As romantic as that sounds, it's simply not the case. The track is a relatively new creation, first proposed in 1974. With various upgrades and realignments over the last 30 years, the track today is just over 1,000 kilometres long, and running from its northern terminus to Kalamunda to the southern in the city of Albany on the south coast. Along the way there are 7 towns at which the walker can rest, resupply and take a long, hot, overdue shower. Between these towns there are 49 shelters, each spaced a comfortable day's walk apart, in which the hikers can camp for the night. Each shelter can sleep at least 8 people, with many able to accommodate many more. Apart from the shelter, each campsite has a water tank, bush toilet, tables and usually a fire pit. For those not wanting to bunk down with other hikers, there are several tent sites nearby. Not being a seasoned bush hiker, everything I need for this walk has had to be bought brand new. Having listened to advice from the Bibbulmun Foundation and read various forums, I have expended a small fortune on the necessary equipment, and as such 2 themes are beginning to emerge. The first, unusual for most Bibbulmun hikers, is that, and on medical advice, I've had to purchase a small portable CPAP machine, a device that helps me breathe at night. This means a lot of extra weight, about 5 kilograms, and in a world where every gram counts, that's a lot. The second, not unconnected with the first, is the total weight of the equipment I have elected to carry. Rule of thumb says that the total weight a walker should carry is about 20% of their body weight. I'm only a little fella, can't help it, born that way. But for me, that means I should be carrying around 16 kilograms, but I'm not. With the extra weight for the CPAP, I'm about 10 kilograms too heavy. How this will affect my walk, only time will tell. As I said, the track is 1,000 kilometres long, starting in the hills east of Perth, moving east to the Mundaring Dam, then turning south to crest the ridges of the Darling Range. It then winds its way through the forests and farmlands of the southwest to the beaches of the south coast, where it again turns east, for the final run into Albany. The hiker is guided along its entire length by these markers, depicting the Wargle, the rainbow serpent of Aboriginal Dreamtime mythology. These markers are generally placed about 500 metres apart, usually in trees, but sometimes on benches and logs. Sometimes they're set in stone, and some of them are very photogenic. Simple to use. When the marker points left, you turn left. When the marker points right, you turn right. When the marker points up, you go up. No, that doesn't sound right. I'll check that. In a reflection of modern society, these markers come in a variety of styles. Singles, straight couples, confused couples, and couples that go both ways. Finally, every now and again, you can catch them out in a threesome. This is Kalamunda. It's a pretty little suburb on the eastern fringes of the city of Perth in Western Australia. It proudly boasts and maintains a village-like atmosphere and is a very nice place to visit. But we're not here today for that. Today our visit to Kalamunda is for this. This is the northern terminus of a walking trek that extends from here in Kalamunda right down through the southwest of the state to the city of Albany. It's over 1,000 kilometers long, and today I start my attempt to walk it. Why? I don't know. I first saw this track 15 years ago on a road trip to Albany, and the more I saw and read of it, the more something inside me told me that I had to do it. I haven't been able to do it up until now because of work, family, other commitments, but this year, in the year I turned 60, I woke up on New Year's Day and said to myself that this was the year you're going to do it. It's now August. It's taken all that time to plan for, buy for, and get organised to start this trip. It's a challenge on a scale I've never attempted before. How far I get? Anybody's guess. I might last a day, I might last a week, I might last a month. It's planned to take around 7 to 8 weeks if I get to the bottom. I should comment at the start that I am not a seasoned bushwalker. I do not do this at the weekends for fun. I'm not a seasoned camper. I don't remember the last time I camped out. It was almost certainly in my mid-teens. I have done some training for this, but nothing like enough. I know that. Unfortunately, I simply hadn't had the time to do it. I mainly chose this time of year because it gave me a bit of leeway at work, which is very busy at the moment. Weather is overcast and cool, which is good. It's threatening rain. It will almost certainly rain. We've had the wettest winter here in Perth for the last 50 years, but I'm scheduled to leave today. I have to leave today in order to meet various meetings down the track for resupply. I did take the time to attend a training course run by the Bibbulmun Foundation. It was a very good course. It gave me all sorts of hints about timing, equipment, that sort of thing. Its main hint was to train for this trek, and I did that Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Today is Thursday, and I'm off. As predicted, the rain didn't hold off for very long. Half an hour later, a mere 1.3 kilometres down the track, it began to pour. Fortunately, overlooking a valley in the Kalamunda National Park, there is a convenient bench seat. I stopped, took off my bag, donned my rain gear and continued on. It was going to be a wet walk for the rest of the day. Well, I'm about 4k's in. I've got to admit, I think I've got the train thing a bit wrong. I hadn't been walking more than 20 minutes when I had to stop and completely don my wet weather gear. It threw it down. As a result, I'm soaking wet. It's not a brilliant start, but I'm hoping it'll dry out later on. At the 4k mark, I've ascended this steep hill. I managed to fall on the way up, cut my hand, not badly, about a third of the way there, so going better than I thought I would, to be honest. Taking a 20-minute break here just to get some breath back. I have to say, it's gorgeous. Taking another extended break. I'm at the 9-kilometre mark right now. I've just passed the Kalamunda camel farm. Didn't see any camels, but they're there. The rain has at last stopped. It hasn't rained on me for the last hour, and I've just taken off at long last my brand new Rainbird waterproof trousers to find that there's an enormous split right at the backside. I guess the label that says made in China says it all. My feet are fine. My knees are starting to twinge a little bit. My back's hurting. I'm taking solace in the fact that there's only 3k's to go, and should be fairly easy looking at the map, which is sopping wet, and I'm hoping that's going to be of some use for the rest of this leg. Mosquitoes are starting to come out too. I am damp from head to foot. I'm hoping to get some stuff dry at the camp tonight. I'm hoping against hope that I'm the only one there. I'm an unsociable prick at the best of times, and I'm hoping when I get there I'm alone so that I can at least set up the camp without people wondering what the hell I'm doing, because I don't know what I'm doing. We'll see. I'm not optimistic, to be honest with you. I keep seeing pole marks in the path in front of me, as if somebody's walking a little ahead of me. No footprints, but pole marks. We'll see. I'll be there in an hour. We'll see who's there then. I'm here. I can see the hut up through the trees there. Bad news is, I'm thinking I can hear voices. Can't see anybody. Maybe it's my imagination. Not seeing anybody. We'll get up there in a minute and find out for sure. The next day broke with much better skies, and with the sun shining in, we get our first look at the shelters that are to be my home for the rest of the hike. With 3 sides, these wooden structures are designed to sleep between 8 and 12 people on 2 levels. But while you can sleep inside with just a mattress and a sleeping bag, the best way is to set up a tent inside the shelter. That way you get the privacy of a tent and it stays dry in the rain. So this is Hewitt Hill. I got here last night about 4 o'clock, bang on schedule really. There was somebody here, lovely lady named Karen. We had a chat, swapped some stories, had something to eat, and then we were both in bed pretty much fast asleep by 7 o'clock. Not a particularly good night for the first night out. The mask on the CPAP broke, which meant that it was noisier than it should have been. I had a chat with Karen in the morning. She said she could hear it, which is upsetting, but she said it didn't bother her and I shouldn't let it bother me that it bothers other people. When you're in a camping situation, you put up with all sorts of things, snoring, farting, all the rest of it. So the noise of a CPAP is quieter than me snoring. I've just had breakfast, porridge. Going to be porridge for the next 6 weeks. Slowly packing up. It's a beautiful day at the minute. It is slightly cloudy over. We head out to Bull Creek today, another 12 k's. I'll get going in an hour or so. It's probably going to take me longer to get there today. My knees are stiff. I've just taken a painkiller to try and alleviate that. Must remember to sign the book. I'll do a video of the signing of the book. First one. At every shelter there are 2 books. A green logbook which every hiker should complete to record the date of their stay. This record can be used to determine a hiker's eligibility for an end-to-end certificate should he wish to apply for one. Not only that, but this record can be used by search and rescue in the event of a hiker going missing. The other book is a red journal. This can be used to record comments or thoughts that a hiker might like to make for others to read. We're off. It's just gone 10 o'clock. It's a little bit later than I anticipated, but we're packed, we're ready to go. Bye-bye to Hewitt Hill, thank you. Very warm, very cosy. Poured with rain last night, but I slept pretty good considering. Next stop, Bull Creek, although we do have a break halfway along the trail at Mundaring Weir. It's 12 k's, nearly 13 k's today. Not as stiff as I thought I was going to be. I have taken some painkillers, which might help. But the interesting thing will be to see how far I get before I had to start taking breaks. Just through the trees there we can see a magnificent view of the Mundaring Weir Dam. A couple of hours we'll be crossing it, and if I'm of mind there's a pub the other side. We'll see how we go. My wife has suggested I go and pay a visit to the shops there to see if I can fix my broken mask. She knows where all the shops are. So that answers that question. I could walk 3.4 kilometers before I had to put my bag down. There's this rather handy old sign that's been vandalized at some stage, but it perfectly suits being able to put a bag on it and pick it up again with great ease, because you can't lift it off the floor. I'm just about to go down a very steep hill, and in not too many kilometers cross Mundaring Weir and have a look at the dam level. A beautiful view of the dam. Never been up here before. Been on the dam plenty of times, never been up here. Missed the best view of them all. Civilization, Mundaring Weir Road. The dam's just down the road. We'll cross it in a minute. Well, this is the entrance to the dam. I've decided not to go to the hotel or up to the shops. The shops isn't that close, to be honest. And I'm not going to lug a backpack all the way up there and all the way back again just to get a roll of sellotape. I'm a little disappointed that the ice cream man isn't here. I would have had an ice cream if he had been. That would have been a treat. I would have allowed myself. The Mundaring Weir dams the Helena River. It was completed in 1902. Today it remains the primary source of drinking water for the West Australian goldfields over 500 kilometres away. Originally built at a height of 132 metres, it was raised after the Second World War to its current height of 141 metres. It was designed by engineer Charles Yelverton O'Connor, and at the time of its construction he came under heavy, unjust criticism in the press, who accused him of incompetence and corruption. In an early tragic case of what we would now call cyberbullying, O'Connor took his own life in March 1902. Less than a year later, the pipeline opened with great fanfare and has kept Kalgoorlie supplied with its vital water supply ever since. The reservoir we see to our right is named in his honour. Well, I passed the hotel. I didn't go in. Had some chats with some nice people, full of questions. How long? Where was I going? What was it like? All very friendly. It's nice. Up in the hills on the opposite side of the dam now, and the view is absolutely spectacular. I don't know if it comes out on the video, but you can actually see the trail that I've walked across. In the far hills in the middle distance there is the lookout that I was at a couple of hours ago. And then down here, beginning of the dam where I last took my bag off, and all across the ridge, halfway down the hillside, you can actually see the outline of the trail that I've spent the last 4 hours trekking along. It's a beautiful day. It's perfect weather, perfect temperature, no threat of rain. The clouds are keeping me cool, the breeze is keeping me cool. It couldn't be better. Well, I've made the Hills Discovery Centre. It's deserted at the minute. Buses leaving and cars are on, but there's nobody here, so I think I'm alright to stop here for a minute or two. Gonna have some lunch. 3 more Ks. I'm done for the day. I'm there, I can see it. Bull Creek. With a bit of luck this time I'll be on my own. Karen from last night's double hutting, so she should have been here at lunchtime. Guy I spoke to back at the Hill Centre said he hadn't seen any other walkers, so unless there's somebody here walking north, I should have the place to myself. Nobody here. Bull Creek. Well, that didn't last very long. Within 10 minutes of me arriving, we had a bunch of kids turn up. Not one, not two, 17, plus 2 teachers' age. They've started out at Wali and they're going up to Mundaring. The good thing is that all of them, bar one, is out in the tent camping ground. So I've only got one of the teachers' aides in with me. The good news is that having got here, not 10 minutes later, it started to rain. Success, fire. At least I can have a little bit of cooked meat tonight. The school party's got its own little camp up over there. They've got their own little fire going. This is my fire and TV for the night. This is what I've got for tea tonight. Pre-mixed at home. It's some instant mash, spoonful of gravy mix, some flakes of onion, some flakes of garlic, teaspoonful of powdered milk, and salt and pepper. The idea is that when I mix it up, I get onion flavoured mashed potato with gravy with garlic. We'll see what happens. Okay, let's find out if this works. Also got some chopped meat, pre-cooked salami. Cut those into halves, throw that in. What we end up with is that. Looks terrible, tastes alright. As I settled down for my second night, the moon rose through the trees. So far so good, the walk was going well. Join me for part 2 as I continue my journey south. Next stop, Helena.